a sunny Tuesday, balmy weather again. I've got the e-bike out. This is the first time I'm going to have a working run down to the local shops. So this will be the first real test of it, and we'll see how it goes. Still waiting for the garbos to turn up. It's probably about 11:30 at them, or 10:30 maybe. No, almost 11 o'clock. They normally arrive at around before 8 o'clock. So I don't know what's going on today. But anyway, we'll get this, get the old e-bike going. First thing I'll do is, you can see that that's a blank screen there. There's my, this is the battery, and it's a bit quirky turning it on. I think you've got to get down this edge here, push it, the button, and then a little display of green symbols will come up to indicate that it's up and running. But it's a bit quirky getting it going. Now, if I've figured out I've got to basically push it down the edge. That's weird. What happened there? Yeah, again, you can see that's taking me trying to get this damn battery to switch on seems to be an issue. So like I say, we're waiting a little bit of time here for this, and this is something that's happened before. I don't know why. There we go. I think I've got to get right down the end there. So now it's actually on. Sorry about the delay there. And now I can switch on my little LED screen, and you can see that there's quite a bit of charge there. That's what's the charge that's remaining. That indicates the amount of assist that I've got, the pedal assist, which is up 1. And my major issue with this particular bike is it's not a step through, so I've got to get right over there. And being 67, it's you know, our mobility isn't as good as young guys. So I may have got an over-engineered bike here, but we'll see. I'll give it a few rides and just see how it all pans out. But that would be my only concern. Certainly couldn't have the seat any higher than what it is, and but it is engineered for long trips. So we'll just see if I can get used to it. So this will be the first real test. So my idea is to go around just up the main road, Gannett Street, and then turn left into Cottesloe. So I'll stay on the same side of the road, so I won't have to go across the road, and then I'll come back via Poolwood, which is on the other side there. So I don't normally do that, but seeing I've got pedal assist, I think, well, why not go for a long ride and give it a decent test? So fingers crossed it all works out well. I watched a few old codgers in California yesterday on a video going through, they went for a 20-mile ride, and they claimed that their battery wasn't affected, which I found rather strange. But the bikes that they had were more expensive than this. They were $2,000 US, and they didn't have a replacement battery, and they didn't have the same range, but they did have a throttle over ride that you can use, so you didn't have to pedal at all. To me, that's no advantage because I want to get exercise. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. We'll give it my second try, and hopefully it won't come to harm. It would have been horrible without the pedal assist. I actually went up to number 3 on the scale there, and the one thing I didn't have any problems with was actually getting the stationary with the actual e-bike. Getting off it was fine. Getting on was more problematic for me. But I prefer that anyway, because I mean, I'll be getting off it when I have to stop when there's traffic and what have you, and if that's easier, that's good news. But just getting over that bar is a bit of a hassle. Just get used to it. I could scrape the leg a few times. The local pharmacy, when I first came to this pharmacy, I thought it was Sleepy Hollow. There was no customers, but yesterday and today it was absolutely packed out. But maybe it's the wrong time of the day. Maybe it's the tea break or something like that, and they come in waves. But I'm not sure. But anyway, and the other news is because of the Queen Elizabeth carking it, for some unknown reason, Albanese has decided to call a public holiday a mourning. I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. I mean, that's okay. She was on the throne for a long time. I'm not a royalist. I'm not no, I was a Republican. I don't really care much anymore. I think it's all sort of academic, and I just say don't stuff with the current system because it'll just cost the taxpayers extra money. So I'm now an older and more pragmatic, I think. But Albanese, it's weird, a Labor Prime Minister doing this is strange because you think of them as mainly being Republicans. So I'm very surprised at that anyway. But I'm more pissed off because that's when I've got a CT scan lined up. And because of that, the hospital's closing down. So I can't get the procedure done on that date, so they're going to have to come up with another date. And I haven't heard back from them yet, so I might SMS them and see if I can get them to tell me what's going on. But yeah, it's pretty inconvenient, something I didn't expect. But like I said, you have policies like that, and then you also have policies pushing EVs, but we don't have the electrical infrastructure to support the extra demand that would be involved there. Looks like someone's got an electric scooter there. So yeah, I did pedal the whole way too, and look, it's not a big deal. I'm nowhere near as exhausted as I would have been. It was a shocking headwind today. It's a real wind tunnel down Cottesloe. If you're heading down in the southerly direction, down that way, which is southerly, that way is southerly, it's horrible. Going back is fine, you get the tailwind. But I'm going to go down this way. I'm going to go right down Poolwood Road, just for a change, going home. It also means I don't have to cross the road I'll have to cross the road twice if I go the other direction. Anyway, hopefully my prescription's being done now. I asked the chemist whether he got the extra co-stopped eye drops in, and he sort of gave me, he wasn't 100% sure, but I thought he was going to do that weeks ago. Who knows? But I'll find out soon enough. I'll go in and go back and find out. But as soon as I put my bike here, a woman came by when I strolled, so I had to move all the way back because she wanted to come straight down there. And then there's a guy with a walking stick as well, so it's a fairly old elderly population here. I'm not the only 60-year-old, that's for sure. I think they were probably in their 70s or so. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'll go back via Poolwood Road. On the left there I'll pass by the Trinity Anglican College, and on the right hand side they'll have the incredibly slow progress towards connecting Miami Street to Trinity Beach. That could take decades is what it looks. Trying to get my prescription today, but they were pretty busy. There's a lot of customers. First time I came here it was no one, but and I've just given them a pretty good review on Google just this morning, so that's typical. But no, look, there's nothing wrong with it. If they got, I just got the wrong impression. I should have just dropped the scripts off yesterday. That would have been the smart move, but no problem. Anyway, I'm going to head down Poolwood Road and hopefully no incidents. And oh, good, the bus is just going, so wouldn't want that running up my rear. So that's good that just passed by. So. It's a very nice day. I don't think I'd have any problems with headwinds going that way, and it is going down towards the beach, so we're going downhill, so that's good. But I was averaging around 15k in second gear heading up to the actual pharmacy on Cottesloe Road, so not too bad. But gee, it's amazing how busy it is here. I thought it was much quieter, a little shopping centre, but no, a lot of people obviously use it. So anyway, I'll stop gas bagging, and I got the power up and running straight away, so that was good. The battery went back in, and it's remembered that I was on pedal assist 1, so we're all ready to go. Slipped just coming into the actual driveway because I was on an angle, and it might have been that dirt there that I got into, and I just lost a little bit of traction, and then I sort of lost balance, and I just had to get on the 2 feet to balance myself. So that was a bit tricky. Poolwood was a dream run down Poolwood Road. I had an average speed probably about 21 k's, top of 22, couldn't push it beyond 22 k's, and I was on pedal assist 1. Then when I went down Kawara Street, I stayed on pedal assist 1, but it dropped down to about probably an average of 17 kilometres. And then coming up Gannett Street, I upped the pedal assist to 2 and then to 3 and kept an average of between 15 and 17 Ks. And you can see I've done a little bit of work. I did quite a bit of pedaling, but I'm not as exhausted as I would be on a conventional bike, and that was the point of getting it, because it was putting me off. And it is a warm day, to be fair. It's quite a warm day. It's probably quite, high 20s right now. So it's not ideal weather for bike riding with sun. So yeah, I did okay. That was my first major test with it. Again, in retrospect, I would have got a step-through design. That was the major difference. You don't really need to be like this for strength. A step-through would have worked perfectly well, and they do have step-through designs, quite a few in the Milano range. So I did learn that from that particular video that those people did, but I think they kept an average speed, well, it might be 15 miles an hour, so it was the equivalent of 20, so they weren't doing too badly, but they were riding along the beach area on bike paths, and I don't think there was any breeze, and no one complained of any headwinds. So I think they had and they were riding lighter bikes as well, that's the other thing. So most of them were using pedal assist. There's only one young fit guy who didn't use any pedal assist. But again, the bikes are very light because there's nothing like this battery hanging off it. It's in the frame itself, and the frame's even thinner. So it's a different category of e-bike that they were riding. And not a cheap one, I got to admit. It also had a top power of 500. Mine's got 250 watts is the top power on mine. But I still haven't pushed it beyond 3 on pedal assist. So it had to be something pretty extreme for me to go 3 more notches. I think I've got 6 pedal assists. And I think 1, 2, 3 will be the ones that we're using most of the time. So that's what I was hoping for. Because again, I don't want to just be sitting on the bike freewheeling most of the time. I want to be pedaling, and that is the best way to keep a consistent power into your bike and also provide you with some exercise, which is the whole point of this exercise, is to get me out of the house, do this more regularly, and I'll get fitter and it'll be easier again, and it's just more enjoyable to do it. Even though I haven't done much push bike riding this year, it's going to be easy to ease into it using this. So that's the good news. Just like I said, the only hassle is getting on the bike is the major hassle, and getting off it when you're slightly unbalanced. So you just got to be careful in those respects. But I wasn't exhausted, so that's the other thing. So if you're exhausted, you can make mistakes like that and fall. But there was no need. There was a lot of traffic going into Kawara shopping, so I had to dodge 2 bloody cars that were all sort of parking and moving all over the place. So yeah, it's been a busy day. All right, anyway, my first major trip is finished. I might go to the nursery, to Branch's nursery, which means going across the main road. I think I'll go Poolwood. I like Poolwood as a road for bike riding. It's a nice, easy ride, especially coming back because there's not many crossroads. So, but I think I'll go up. I'll use Poolwood for the bike because it doesn't matter if it's a little longer. With an e-bike, I can take different routes, and again, I may not go all along the highway when I go up to the Clifton Beach shops. I might go cut inside to avoid a fair bit of that bike path. We'll see. I mean, it doesn't matter. The time's not an issue, and it handles side streets really well. I'm very happy with it. Anyway, so far, so good. Well, it's Sunday, probably about 11 o'clock, and it's about 30 degrees apparently. Bit of a breeze, not bad. Got to watch out for those killer birds over there. They're nesting, and they can get quite vicious, but if they're close to their chicks on the other side, it's not such an issue. But when my friend visited, they went berserk when they were on this side, and they were trying to protect them, so you just got to be aware of this sort of thing. Also, dogs are chasing me up Bondi Crescent. You can see I've actually just attached this came with the Osmo. It's the adhesion pad for putting the actual camera on there. It seems to be okay. I'll give it a test ride, maybe just up locally, but I'm going to go to the shops. Of course, I'm motivated to get grog. That always motivates me. So this will be my second test on the bike, and this time I know how to use the gears, because that lever there is for changing gears and that one is disengaging, and I was doing it the opposite way around, so I wasn't changing gears. So we'll just see how it goes. It's a bit of a breeze, see what sort of pedal assist I require, and hopefully I won't fall A over T. We'll see how it goes. It's pretty quiet on a Sunday here. It's a good time to do it. Survived the ride up here. It's a 1.7 kilometre ride apparently. It's longer than I thought, and probably averaging about 16 k's, maybe 15. And I went to the second gear. Didn't seem to make a great deal of difference. And yeah, and I use pedal assist too, actually, going, because I really feel it more when you're on a slow speed. When you're first starting out, that's when it kicks in big time. When you're actually moving, I don't notice it as much. So I'm going to go down Poolwood again and see if it's as good a run as I had last time, because it was quite good going back. In spite of the fact I used pedal assist too for that trip, I'm still puffing a bit on the way back. It was a much better run on the return leg down Poolwood, and I got to a new record of 25 k's in a higher gear. I think I went up to about gear 3. And one thing I do notice about this bike, like I said, if you're in low speed, just about to take off, and you've got pedal assist, then you'll notice it. So I'll probably start my journeys with 0 pedal assist, and until I got a little bit of speed up, and then switch into it, and the same coming home. It was a lot better me returning today. I didn't skid at all getting in my own driveway, so that was good. But yeah, I'm still sweating. I'm still working on that. I wanted to do that. If I find it's too much, I do have respiratory issues, and I guess I'm not an average person, even though, just given my age group, I suppose, would mean that I'm also not in the peak fitness, 67. You know, you don't expect miracles, but it does get me out and about, and if I'm finding it too difficult, I'll just up the pedal assist. So, but again, I don't notice it nearly as much when I'm moving, when I've got a few k's under the belt. If it's going 15 k's, I can't really tell the difference between one and the other, to be quite frank. So, but we'll see how it progresses. Well, it's Monday morning, and just heading down to catch the bus, and you can see there's quite a bit of cloud cover. Humidity is quite high, and I found it to be a particularly uncomfortable night, so much so that I actually had the aircon on. I had to switch it on just before midnight, because I just found that the fan just wasn't doing it for me, because I wash my chest and face and what have you. I always do that when it's particularly warm, just to get the sweat off before I go to bed. And I still found this sort of prickly sort of sensation across my chest, you know, which is sort of like a heat rash type sensation. I can feel it right now, and it gets into my the joints of my arms as well. You know, it's just that's when I can feel I'm quite sensitive to the heat, and that's how I feel right now. This is amazing. It's only mid-September, and it just feels like we're in summer already. It hasn't hit me this hard so quickly before. I am on medication at the moment. Now, that might have something to do with it. But, yeah, I'm finding it particularly hard work. And like I said, even with the e-bike yesterday, I still built up a sweat just riding the e-bike to the local shops. So it was 30 degrees when I rode yesterday, and I felt it. So, they said the humidity wasn't that bad yesterday, but God, it felt it to me. Now it has bumped up to about 85% or something, which is getting pretty high, and it feels quite steamy and muggy this morning. So it'll be good to get into the bus. At least it's aircon, and in a way, I'm looking forward to getting out of the house right now, because the fans make it bearable but not great, and as I say, it's the longest I've had the aircon on. I just had to leave it on for a few hours. I turned it off and it just got oppressive again, so I had to turn it back on. So I had it on for a couple of hours. I've got it on a fairly high temperature setting of 28, but it was still kicking in. It was definitely cooling the air, so presumably it was over 30 when I went to bed, so that's pretty hot. weather to sleep in. Anyway, hopefully we'll get a change soon, but it doesn't look like it according to the weather forecast. They're forecasting 31-degree days coming up, a whole string of them this week. So that's not very encouraging, but things can change pretty quickly. I think we got some rain last night. I heard a burst of rain, but I didn't even get to sleep until after midnight, way after midnight. So I haven't had that much sleep today. I don't feel so bad that way. But yeah, this is the sort of weather, I guess, that puts people from the south off. If you get a protracted amount of this type of weather, it can be quite draining. Waiting at the bus stop to get back to Smithfield. I just had a whole lot of crap I had about getting a CT scan because of that public holiday. It's caused no end of grief for me. They actually changed the date to Saturday for the scan, and that does me no good at all. And of course, the time it took to go back to imaging to get all this sorted out was just enough time for me to just miss the bus by a minute, if not less. It was actually just down there, just past the bus stop as I got here. Just before I got here. And of course the bus was on time. The only bus that's been on time in this whole route, of course, happens to be the one that I needed to catch. So now I'm going to have to wait another 20-30 minutes for a bus. Wonderful. And it's a stinking hot day. Look, I'm going to get the 1:11 bus. The 1:10 just left. But the thing is, I don't have the ticket that I can transfer on, because I didn't pay for the initial fare. It wouldn't take money, so it means I've got to buy another couple of tickets, which is a bit of a hassle. I'd almost prefer the $4 deal where you can have as many trips as you like in the day. I like that, but sometimes they just won't collect fares in the morning, and I don't know why. Still waiting for an explanation on that one. But I got my shopping done, and then I went down to Woolworths, got that done as well. Actually, they had some good specials with the cocktail tomatoes are $3, which is quite a good price. I think they're normally $4.40, $4.80. There was some supreme cheese Doritos, which I think advertised $1.85 a pack, but I was charged $2.10 each pack for some reason, but it's still cheap. And also pizza was McCain pizzas were only $1.75. Unfortunately, the Supreme ones weren't there, and I don't have any capsicum at the moment to put on as topping, but I might be able to scrounge some off my plans if I'm really desperate. Mind you, I don't have to eat that straight away. I put it in the freezer. So all in all, it wasn't bad. But when I went to the checkout, there's a guy right in front of me had a tower of soft drinks in cartons. He took through the checkout, which is designed for only like 12 or less. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't feel quite as bad humidity wise right now. Bit of a breeze, feels a little less humid, so that's good. Still be happy to get indoors though. And yeah, it's been very stiff with the buses today, just missing certain ones. Can be a little frustrating on public transport at times, and I'm going to get a copper another bout of it on Wednesday. I've got to go back that way, which is a drag. Once is more than enough, and then on Friday I've got the beach club, beach house, the beach house bar on Trinity Beach. I might walk there, but it depends what the weather's like. If it's really hot like this, I may not. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.